Okay, so these meetings, these calls, these community connections is an opportunity for all of us to connect, to raise questions, for us to tell you where we're at with the work. As you know, and if you don't know, the work that we practice at the lab, which is presence, is a research, is an ongoing research. Every month we discover something new. And this is an opportunity to just share in terms of the research what we're up to. And that can bring some questions for the work, for your research, for acting, for casting, for consciousness development, for all the areas that we're going to be touching in. I was thinking that I would like to start with a little bit of movement, but because some people are on the train, maybe we can do this like a little bit later when some more people will be a little bit more steady. I'd like to start with something which I'm very, very happy and passionate about, and that is that the most recent exploration that we've been experiencing, and it's brilliant because Marta is here, Katarina is here, and they've been with us in the last couple of workshops where that new element has been manifested, is actually, let me just put a few things in perspective, especially for people who might not be very familiar with us in the recent years. The work is presence. How can an actor understand their own presence? How can an actor dive into a research to find out how can they be free in their performance? Discovering, exploring that freedom, it's almost like someone is finding their own way into acting, into performance. Physical Lab is a research space. It's a place where you come in and you start to understand better who you are, what you're standing for, what is it that you do naturally, and it leads to acting. So it's not at all, let us tell you how to act, let us tell you how it's done. It's a dialogue that we create together with you, and we try together to improvise, to experiment, and to take risks so you can become freer in your artistry, in your acting craft. This is our aim. This is our goal. Artistic freedom, which leads to personal freedom, and vice versa. One of the key ways that we're going into this is deconditioning. Very often we arrive into the studio or into the rehearsal or on set, and we already have preconceived ideas about how acting should be. We really question that. And we really try to find, aside of all the learnings, and the learnings can be from school, experience, watching films, watching Netflix, watching TV, aside to that, that pure essence, artistic essence of each actor, how does he want to come through? How does he want to manifest itself? What is that unique way that you somehow experience presence, words, physicality that creates something that only you can do? This is our task. And this is like a research, and it's an experimentation that leads to being in the unknown in the most comfortable way. And of course, being into the unknown is very uncomfortable. But the more we train to dive into those waters, the more comfortable the more we relax with our essence, and then the uncharted waters become a little bit easier to swim inside. So this is like a little insight to what it is that we do. Of course, the point of entry is the body. We work a lot with the body. We work with the body, and through this opening of the body, we also dive into our consciousness. We dive into possibilities. Now, the discovery, which I want to share with you, is that something that I became aware very vividly over the last, let's say, 6 to 8 months, is that because of the passion that I have about this research, and because of the experience that I have for about 20 years of working with actors, the moment an actor starts acting, performing, experimenting, within like a minute, I can have 5 ideas in my mind about how I can actually support this actor. How can I actually get this actor to explore different possibilities, to become more in their essence? right? To be a lot freer. And this has been a brilliant work that served a lot of people. A lot of people got the jobs. A lot of people created their own projects. They thrived. Beautiful work. And it was always coming from a wonderful place. I'm now starting to go in a little bit deeper into enabling the actor even more to raise their own questions. So it's been about a year now that I've been experimenting, taking steps back. And we've had some really wonderful experiences when suddenly, by the end of the workshop, on the last couple of days, people have tuned in so much about their own self-research that basically they get up and I don't really need to say anything. They just kind of dive into being in the unknown and exploring what is right for them to explore. So I studied this and I analyzed this quite a lot. And in the last couple of workshops, the lab retreat in Crete and the Paris masterclass that we did, mentorship, masterclass mentorship, all these names are going. It's going to be just workshops. Bear with us. We're in the process as well, you know? So in those last two events, the retreat in Crete, as well as the workshop in Paris, I took a step further into this experimentation, and I made it very clear to everybody that we're going to spend the first couple of days exploring embodiment, exploring physicality, exploring the scenes that you have arrived here to work with. But more and more, I'm going to interfere less. I'm going to interfere a lot less about, oh, what about this? And, you're saying this, and that makes me think about that. Would you like to try this? I'm going to step back from there, and I'm going to raise the question after we've set the tone, and we've said, what the goal is, and we understood like certain tools that, we have access to. Then it's a question for the actor to just kind of say to themselves, what is it that I'm already able to see as a potential obstacle that is stopping me from being even freer in my performance, right? And or what is it that somehow I have an appetite to explore? So on the one side, you have a potential obstacle, and on the other side, there is this kind of sense of, oh my gosh, I want to try this. I want to try this. So without a coach or a person having a dialogue with suggesting something, the coach and the person with the dialogue is asking the person, what is it that you can already see in your sphere? So I really experimented with this, and I found that when the actor can actually see already an obstacle, that means that emotionally they are ready to tackle it. And that emotional readiness takes the work on another level. I'm speaking about their work. I'm speaking about their inquiry to another level. I did exactly the same thing with the scenes. Instead of suggesting things or raising the questions, who are you and why do you want to do this? And all that stuff that we can land into through a process. I started asking them, what is it that you see already in that character? What is it that, emotionally you just feel charged and excited to explore? What is it about their life story that somehow meets you and connects with you, right? And again, to my beautiful surprise, I was like, look, they already have it figured out in their minds. And the more space I was offering to their discoveries, to the discoveries that they are ready to tackle, to the dreams that they are ready to swim inside, the deeper the work was going, the more interesting the outcome was becoming. And for what I'm looking for, I don't even know if I don't even know if I go under this category of acting coach. I think I'm working on presence. So I am seeking those states where people are glowing effortlessly, right? So for what I'm looking for, with this research going more into the field of the actor, I saw some really incredible transformations of these people to be more themselves under the circumstances of the scene and the character. So this is like my new kind of chapter that I'm exploring. It's very important to highlight that we go into this inquiry after we've spent a couple of days or a few sessions, if this is private work, of we're really understanding what is the goal here. And we have a very clear goal, and we have a very clear understanding of what are we working towards, and how are we going to get there? And the how is very free, of course. Every time I'm working with somebody, usually I create like a different kind of question or an exercise that could potentially help. Or to be more accurate, we co-create, which is the key element here of this kind of work. So this is like the most fresh element that I have, and something that came out very vividly, especially in Paris, which was the last experience, was people were like, gosh, there is a sense of, I mean, Marta was one of them who said this, so, maybe she can speak herself for that she was like, this work really made me autonomous. It just made me feel that there is a world here which is rooted in my essence, in my inquiry, that after these 6 days, I feel I can actually tap into. And I feel I'm at a state where autonomously I can research, create something, boom, and share. So this is like this is where I'm at right now with the research. And it's a beautiful place to be able to hold even deeper listening with an actor. At the very final stage of the 6-day workshop, it was the moment where I just kind of felt, on this final round, when I will be working with you one-to-one, it's possible, if it feels right for both sides, that I might offer some suggestions. And that was also fascinating because I was so minimal with my suggestions. Not often actually I needed to suggest something. And a couple of times that I actually suggested something, sometimes it bounced back. And what I mean by that is, I remember in Crete suggesting an idea to Yvonne, and Yvonne just went, oh, you're saying this, and actually that makes me think that woman had such a terrible feeling. She was speaking about her character, such a terrible feeling of being next to this man for 5 years while he was absent. So my suggestion, which was going in another direction, made her think something about her world, something about her inquiry. And that's when I'm the happiest with where I am with the work at the moment, you know? So it was almost like bounced back. Yorgos, no, that's not it. But actually what it is this. So that's something to share. If that ignites any further questions or suggestions or similar experiences, or a completely different, of course, question.